Who honestly would have thought this would happen? This is crazy. I mean, I'm not creating these headlines. I guess I am by making this video, but this content's coming from numerous sources in Germany, global automotive publications, global media publications. Volkswagen's German car factories are going to build Chinese cars for Europe. I kid you not. This is apparently real, and negotiations and discussions have been going on for months. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Chery is China's fourth largest automaker. They sold 2.6 million vehicles globally in 2024. Most people haven't heard of them, but they're huge and they're growing. They're actually the second fastest growing car company in the world right now. It's no secret that China's automakers have been eyeing the European car market. They're not just eyeing Brazil and basically every country they can, Australia, Thailand, but they're going after Europe. And interestingly, BYD had the #1 best-selling plug-in hybrid in Europe in March. Now, Chery is going to gain a foothold right in the heart of Germany's automotive landscape, says Car Scoops. Back in January, reports surfaced that several Chinese car makers were interested in buying or leasing Volkswagen car plants, one in Dresden, the other in Osnabrück, both of which are set to shut down as part of Volkswagen's ongoing cost-cutting efforts. They're getting rid of those factories and, yeah, they're trying to save money. Now it appears that Chery, China's fourth largest car maker, which sold 2.6 million cars in 2024 through its 9 brands and joint ventures, including with Jaguar Land Rover, is close to finalising a deal to take over the 2 plants as it prepares to expand into European markets. Guys, I won't say I told you so, but for years now, I've been telling you so. The company confirmed that it's in advanced talks to start building cars in Germany, but it didn't reveal if it is Volkswagen it is negotiating with. Everyone knows it is, though. Vice President of Chery International, Charlie Zhang, told Automotive News Europe that the final decision will be made after all possible issues are solved. We need money, he said. We desperately need money. China is taking over the global automotive industry, and we need to sell our factories and all of our assets to China as fast as possible. No, I made that up. That's a joke. He said this: we need to study the feasibility plan because in Germany the situation is very, very complicated. Adding, the company wants detailed info on regulatory requirements, labor unions, supply chains, and costs. But basically, Chery is saying, we want to make cars in Germany. We want to get around these 25%, or not 25%. We want to get around these approximately 35% tariffs. But the thing is, we need to find out if we can ship our cars straight from China and basically just knock them up, have them as cars that are kind of like kit cars. You can just rebuild them in the factory in Germany and say they're made in Germany and avoid the tariffs. That's what they are aiming to do. They're intending to manufacture models for their brand new Lepus brand that was launched only a few weeks ago on the 2nd of April and sell modified versions of Chery's Tiggo range that will be available in global markets. Anyway, European-made models will include 2 compact and 1 mid-sized SUV with combustion, plug-in hybrid, and electric powertrains. In any case, Chery is no stranger to building cars in Europe in an effort to avoid hefty taxes imposed on Chinese EVs by the EU, as since 2024 it has been assembling cars at a former Nissan factory in Barcelona, Spain, in partnership with local company Ebro. Sorry for the beep, guys. My watch has told me it is bedtime. It is 11:14 p.m. here in Australia. Zhang revealed that Chery is gearing up to upgrade that facility in order to increase production of the Tiggo plug-in hybrid SUV. There is no tariffs. Well, there is a 10% tariff for everyone, but no extra Chinese tariffs on plug-in hybrids. And add EV versions of the Chery Omoda and JQ brands. They sell pickup trucks that will be sold on the old continent. By spreading its production across multiple European sites, Chery appears to be positioning itself not only to avoid trade barriers, but also to tailor its offerings more directly to Germans, to get the brand out there recognized in Europe, to say we made this car in Germany, it must be awesome, you should buy one, people will, I'm telling you now, even though we just sort of, we built it in China, then we reassembled it in Germany. That's what will really happen. But anyway, I mean, it'll bring a little bit of value to Germany and it will enable the Volkswagen Group to sell its factories off. Otherwise, they're just going to sit idle. There's going to be no one else to buy them. Let's be real. That's what would happen. So this is essentially a Trojan horse. Chinese companies are doing this. BYD is building cars in Europe. Numerous car companies will build cars in Europe. Of course, it's not really building them in Europe, but assemble cars in Europe in order to get around tariffs. And this is one way China is building this Trojan horse effect on the old continent. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Tony Seba said back in 2014 that electric cars would cost $5,000 in 2030. Well, he was referring to not just the price of cars in China, but worldwide. And yes, we're not at $5,000 yet for EVs outside of China, but we are there in China. In fact, there's many models for sale at that price in China already. However, there's actually EVs in China that are good, that cost $4,000. Here's one of them. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. It's great to see you. I know I talk about Tony Seba a lot, but he's made predictions back in 2014. He was the key reason that I actually started this YouTube channel because he inspired me. He really showed me that the world would become a better place. And that was because of science and maths, not because of our feelings and emotions. Often our feelings and emotions lead us to believe things that aren't true. Science and maths actually tells us what will really happen. And the math says that EVs that cost $4,000 in China today, by 2030, will cost about the same worldwide. So this gives you an idea of where things will be in 6 years' time from now outside of China. And honestly, it's actually pretty good. Now, really, do we all need two cars? Well, maybe. Do we all need two big cars though? Absolutely not. Some of us might. You might have heaps of kids in your family. You might have some sort of work reason you need two big cars. Most of us don't though. This would be perfect as a second car. Chery, which actually do sell cars outside of China. So they are now a global car brand. They sell cars in Australia. They are actually one of the leading Chinese automobile manufacturers, and they have unveiled two affordable small cars. One's called the Ice Cream and one's called the Little Ant. These vehicles are obviously targeting people who are in this, looking for a city car, something that would be easy to park, something that's very cheap to buy, something that's very, very cheap to run, and something that, is fit for purpose. You're not buying a car that you don't actually need. You don't need to buy a pickup truck, so they're not buying a pickup truck. It's quite logical. The Ice Cream and Little Ant models are priced from $4,000. Now the Little Ant costs $8,000. The Ice Cream costs $4,000. So yeah, they're both very, very cheap. Now the Little Ant you can see here, that's the one that looks a little bit more like a Toyota type car. It's more curvy.